Spanish Inquisition.
Created by Alma Diaz and
Durrell Killingsworth.
from Lincoln Park High School, ninth grade. The Spanish Inquisition was a cruel torturing of heretics simply because they believed in another religion other than Catholicism. An inquisition is a period of long, intensive questioning or investigation. An inquisition usually occurs for a political or religious reason, characterized by a lack of attention for individual rights and cruel punishment. This year's history fair theme is Rights and Responsibilities. A right is a moral or legal permission to have something or act a certain way. A responsibility is having a duty with something or having control over something.
King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella restricted the rights and privileges of non-Catholic people. Thus, heretics such as Jews and Muslims either left Spain or were killed. This made Spain a principally Catholic society and changed many ways of the country, making an overall impact.
The Spanish Inquisition was used for both religious and political reasons. Ferdinand and Isabella, leaders of Spain, wanted a way to bring Spain together as a strong nation. To do this, they created a plan in which involved convincing people to change to just one religion, Catholicism. If not convinced, heretics would go through a process of torture or go to trial. In 1478, Pope Sixtus IV officially began what was called the Spanish Inquisition to clarify the people of Spain.
The first cause was that King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella wanted an all-Catholic kingdom. Religion was one of the main reasons for the start of the Spanish Inquisition. The Jews and Christians already had many disagreements with each other prior to the Inquisition. Aside from the religious cause, other causes were for political and economic reasons.
The rights of the non-Catholic population was highly threatened under the rule of monarchs of Spain during the years of 1478 through 1834. However, the monarchs weren't as much as involved as Tomás de Torquemada. Tomás de Torquemada was the main inquisitor of Spain and its people. It was his job to help Ferdinand and Isabella unify their country by having an all-Catholic society. In 1483, Tomás de Torquemada had received the great honor to be an inquisitor and asked people to either change to the Catholicism religion, leave the country, or suffer the consequences. By suffering the consequences, people would be tortured in many different ways, if a heretic. Tortures were painful and embarrassing. For example, one form of the torture was that the victim would lie face down on the floor and weights were dropped down on the victim while carrying a heavy weight on their back. This eventually crushed the victim and caused fatal pain. The victims experienced even worse tortures, but others were treated as equally and got arrested or put on trial. However, after being arrested, the victim was stripped of all his or her property and had no way of defending themselves.
Overall, the Spanish Inquisition tried to accomplish having a united Catholic society in Spain. It was the job of Sister Isabel de la Cruz and her followers to address these problems. In order to correct them, they organized a group known as Alumbrados. Alumbrados were mystics who believed that if they were pure enough, they'd be part of God's will and come in direct communication with Him to resolve any problems. Jews and Muslims in Spain left or were killed because they were heretics, which made Spain a predominantly Catholic society and changed many aspects of their country. Today, it is still a predominantly Catholic country. The church also banned some books to keep people from reading material they didn't agree with. If anyone questioned the church, they were called a heretic and put on trial. Also, many people had fear of the powerful Catholic Church as well as resented the Church and its teachings, which affected society later on during the Reformation. The Spanish Inquisition also led to a 20-year war in France.
The Inquisition was a major contribution to the amount of people leaving Spain. Because of the immigrants from Spain, there was an established, small but vibrant community in Chicago. Even though most people went to Latin American countries, several thousands moved to American cities. By the 1920s, a small number of Spaniards had settled in Chicago, attracted to the area by jobs in different industries. Evidently, it caused a major increase of population to Chicago. However, with the national quota system, immigration from Spain declined dramatically as Spain's quota was at just 131 immigrants per year. Numerous Spanish immigrants began settling in the Chicago area only after the quota system was eliminated in the 1960s.